Imagine a world where city-states constantly fought each other and no ruler could control more than a few cities. Then came a man who changed history forever, Sargon of Akkad. He conquered the Sumerian city-states, created the first empire in human history, and ruled a land stretching across northern and southern Mesopotamia. His leadership, military strategy, and administrative genius allowed him to unite diverse people under a single government. Today, we travel back over 4,000 years to explore the rise of the Akkadians, their culture, achievements, and the lasting impact of the world's first empire. The Akkadians arose in Mesopotamia, the same fertile land where the Sumerians had built their cities. By 2300 BCE, the Sumerian city-states were wealthy but often in conflict with each other. This instability gave rise to Sargon, a brilliant leader from the northern city of Akkad. Although the exact location of Akkad is unknown today, we know it was near the Tigris River. By conquering the Sumerian cities, Sargon created an empire stretching from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean, linking diverse peoples, languages, and cultures. Unlike the Sumerians, who ruled individual city-states, the Akkadians introduced the concept of centralized imperial control, laying the foundation for future empires. Sargon was not born into royalty. Legends say he was a cupbearer to a king before rising to power. Through intelligence, diplomacy, and military skill, he managed to unite the often warring city-states. His army, equipped with bronze weapons and chariots, conquered city after city. Sargon appointed governors and administrators in conquered regions, ensuring loyalty while allowing local customs to continue. This was revolutionary. It was the first time in history that one ruler controlled multiple cities under a unified administration. Trade flourished under the Akkadians. They exchanged goods such as metals, textiles, and agricultural products across their empire. Sargon also promoted Sumerian culture, art, and writing, blending it with Akkadian language. This created a cultural continuity that influenced all later Mesopotamian civilizations. By the end of his reign, Sargon's empire covered hundreds of kilometers, connecting previously isolated regions and setting the model for all empires to come. The Akkadian Empire introduced innovations in government and administration. Sargon divided his empire into provinces, each ruled by officials he trusted. Taxes were collected regularly, and scribes maintained records of trade, crops, and legal matters. This level of organization was unheard of before. Akkadian society was hierarchical, but allowed for specialized roles. Farmers and laborers produced food and resources, while artisans, traders, and soldiers supported the state. Priests remained influential, but the king was considered the ultimate authority, seen as chosen by the gods to rule all lands. Culturally, the Akkadians continued Sumerian traditions in writing, literature, and religion. However, they spoke the Akkadian language, which eventually became the dominant language of Mesopotamia. Art and architecture flourished, with statues, reliefs, and temples built to honor gods and kings. This blend of Sumerian and Akkadian culture ensured that their achievements would influence later civilizations, including the Babylonians and Assyrians. The Akkadians made significant contributions that shaped future empires. Writing and language. They adapted the Sumerian cuneiform system to write in Akkadian, making records easier to understand across the empire. Law and governance. They implemented a centralized administration and legal oversight, which served as a model for later Mesopotamian rulers. Art and architecture. Akkadian sculptures, reliefs, and city walls displayed advanced artistic and engineering skills. The famous victory stele of Naram-Sin celebrates military triumph and divine approval of the king. Military innovation. The Akkadian army used bronze weapons, chariots, and organized formations, giving them a tactical advantage over rivals. Cultural integration. They promoted trade, standardized weights and measures, and spread Sumerian learning throughout the empire. These achievements proved that a well-organized empire could maintain control over diverse populations, while encouraging culture, trade, and innovation. The Akkadians showed that civilization could expand beyond single cities and influence the wider region. After Sargon, his grandson Naram-Sin became one of the most famous Akkadian kings. He declared himself king of the four corners of the world, showing ambition for total control. Naram-Sin strengthened the empire with military campaigns and further administrative reforms. He is famous for the victory stele, which depicts him climbing a mountain, trampling enemies, and being protected by the gods. This artwork emphasized the king's divine right to rule and the unity of empire and religion. Under Naram-Sin, the Akkadian Empire reached its largest extent, controlling northern and southern Mesopotamia, and trade routes extending far beyond. However, maintaining such a vast empire required constant vigilance. Rebellions and external threats were frequent, revealing the challenges of managing a multi-ethnic, multi-city empire. Despite these pressures, Naram-Sin's reign is remembered as a high point of Akkadian power and cultural achievement. The Akkadian Empire eventually declined around 2150 BCE. Multiple factors contributed to this downfall. Internal revolts, conquered city-states, and regions often rebelled against Akkadian rule. Environmental challenges. Evidence suggests severe droughts affected crops, causing famine and instability. External invaders. Groups such as the Gutians invaded Mesopotamia, weakening central authority. The empire fragmented into smaller city-states, and Akkadian power waned. Yet, their administrative systems, culture, and military strategies were adopted by later civilizations. Even after their political collapse, the Akkadians left a legacy of centralized government, imperial organization, and cultural unity, which influenced the Babylonians, Assyrians, and beyond. Although the Akkadians ruled for only about 200 years, their impact was lasting. They demonstrated that a single ruler could unite multiple cities under one government and maintain control over a diverse population. Their administrative systems, legal frameworks, and trade networks became the template for future empires. Culturally, Akkadian language and writing spread throughout Mesopotamia, blending with Sumerian traditions. Art and literature flourished, with works like the Epic of Gilgamesh preserved and later influencing generations. Military innovations, including organized armies and bronze weaponry, became standard in Mesopotamia for centuries. The Akkadians showed that civilization could move beyond city-states to create empires, combining culture, governance, trade, and military power. In short, they were pioneers of imperial rule, and their achievements continue to shape our understanding of how human societies grow, organize, and thrive. The Akkadian Empire may have fallen long ago, but its story remains a reminder of human ambition, ingenuity, and leadership. From the rise of Sargon to the greatness of Naram-Sin, the Akkadians proved that one person's vision could unite the world and leave a mark that lasts thousands of years.